All right, good evening, everyone. It is 6:30, so if everybody could take their seats. I'd like to announce that this meeting of the Seguin Independent School District has been duly called. The notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Opens Meeting Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Mr. Amador will be leading us in the pledges this evening.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to E Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
And now we'll take a moment of silence. Okay, first thing up this evening, we have Dr. Gutierrez with his announcements.
Good evening, Matador Nation. A quick glance at our COVID numbers indicate that overall, Seguin ISD appears to be on a downward trend. Our COVID dashboard posted and updated at seguinisd.net now shows that we have 58 current student cases and 11 staff cases. We continue to monitor the positivity rate daily at each campus, and we have not reached a 5% positivity rate at any of our schools. I am proud of our students and campus staff who are practicing safeguards at school and at home. Their efforts are truly making an impact. We will continue to remain vigilant, strongly encourage masks, and share vaccine clinic information in order to help stop the spread. I'll conclude tonight's COVID update with 5 words. Keep up the great work. On Thursday, Guadalupe County and National Guard are hosting a COVID shot clinic in the Seguin High School Performing Arts Center from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccine will be offered for those 12 and over. This is a walk-in event and pre-registration is not required. Last Thursday, I had the pleasure of attending the annual 16 de Septiembre celebration at Kennedy Elementary. This event featured our Kennedy students taking part in a hallway parade plus special guests from the Seguin High School Matador Mariachi and Ballet Folklorico programs. Everyone involved put on a festive show full of energy and excitement, and I want to thank Ms. Crittenden and Ms. Duncan for being part of that celebration. This week's Friday Night Lights features our Matadors hosting Canyon in our second district game of the season. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Coach Daly and his team go into this contest 1-0 in district thanks to a hard-fought win against Veterans Memorial last Friday. Also on Friday night, Lady Matador Volleyball will host Alamo Heights in Goldie Harris Gym. Come out and support Seguin High School Matador football and volleyball on Friday night. Saturday morning, Matador cross country will run in Round Rock, and Seguin High School tennis has a busy day playing in Kerrville in a Kerbal tournament in the morning and a tournament in Bernie in the afternoon. Music will fill the Seguin air on Saturday as the Mighty Matador Band hosts the annual Marching Band Festival in Matador Stadium. Our band is slated to perform at 8:30 p.m. Admission is $10 for adults and $5 for students. Trustees and administrators may attend free of charge. Thank you, and remember, it's a great day to be a Matador.
Certainly is. There's a lot going on. All right, next up on our agenda, we like to do a campus highlight at the beginning. We haven't done one in a while, I'm going to be honest with y'all. And we're really looking forward to this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Amador.
This evening, we are Matador proud to learn about programs and initiatives in our schools. Let's welcome Rodriguez Elementary School Principal Yolanda Grijalva, who is here to introduce a video on the ACE program at Rodriguez.
Good evening, Board President Thomas Jimenez, Board Members, and Dr. Gutierrez. We are here to highlight our ACE program today. And with me, I have Mrs. Dunn, our Assistant Principal Rodriguez, Mr. Joseph Cantu, who put this video together for us, and Mr. Montes. Angel Montes, he is our ACE coordinator at Rodriguez Elementary School.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Mr. Montes. I work with the ACE program in the past with San Antonio Independent School District. I'm just glad to bring you to Seguin. I know that with all the support that we're getting, we're going to do some great things. I hope you enjoy the video.
Here at Rodriguez Elementary School. We're very excited to have the ACE program here on our campus this year. Although we just started the ACE program, we're already seeing the tremendous positive impact it's having on our students. The ACE program is just another way in which Seguin ISD is responding to the unique needs of our community. Many times our parents want to help their kids with homework after school, but unfortunately they have to work late. The ACE program provides the opportunity for our students to receive the additional homework help they need. By recruiting certified teachers for the academic component of the ACE program, we are ensuring that our students continue to grow not only socially and emotionally, but academically as well, as they receive the additional homework help and academic interventions they need.
Hi, my name is Angel Montes. I have been working with the ACE program for 5 years now. ACE stands for After School Centers on Education, and we're just proud and excited to bring it to Rodriguez Elementary this year. Our schedule starts at 3:30 once the kids are released from school. From 3:30 to 4 o'clock, we have meet and greet and mealtime. From 4 to 5, we have academic assistance, tutoring, or clubs. From 5 to 5:45, we have enrichment activities, which include art, STEM, and team building. From 5:45 to 6:30, we partner up with the JAM program, which provides CATCH curriculum. CATCH curriculum promotes physical activities and healthy food choices. The program reinforces health concepts through classroom instruction, physical education lessons, and school nutrition. In my previous experience working with the ACE program in San Antonio, we saw increased overall school attendance and student achievement. We also saw a boost in community engagement because of the relationships built by the ACE program. We look forward to bringing this to Seguin ISD.
Hi, I'm Ms. Pence. I am one of the interventionists here at Rodriguez, and I'm super excited about the ACE program. I am looking forward to helping kids with their homework and clearing up any misconceptions that they may have in their learning.
I like the ACE program because they feed me 2 times and I get to go and then I get to play with my friends all the time. And it's fun.
I like the ACE program because I get to spend time with my teacher and he's fun, and I get to spend time with my friends, and yeah.
My name is Jennifer Rosenhan, and I am the librarian here at Rodriguez Elementary, and I've been working with 3rd through 5th grade after school in the ACE program. I've worked at it previously at another district, and it's been really great there with them, and so I've been trying to do some art this week in time Hispanic Heritage Month, And so they learned about 3 different types of Mexican art, and then we also researched a famous Hispanic person.
We were doing famous singers, Hispanic singers, and so I did some names. I like this because I love the spirits there. I like the ACE program because we get to play soccer and we get to go to the playground. In the ACE program, we work with niños. Me gusta el programa porque nos dejan hacer actividades y también dejan hacer tarea y dibujar y nos dejan hacer proyectos. Por eso me gusta más. Oh, we made a water timer. Yeah, that was so fun. I still have it at my house. Jugamos y hacemos proyectos en la library. Coloreamos, pintamos y hacemos como formas de animales. Y unas veces vamos a PE a jugar.
Hello, I am Mrs. Pettis Vasquez, and I'm the school counselor at Rodriguez Elementary. I am so excited to be part of the ACE program. During my after-school program, I am teaching students social-emotional learning, and we are doing various lessons to help students with positive interactions at school, at home, with friends, with anyone they meet.
Good afternoon, my name is Pete Silvius. I'm one of the Seguin ISD staff members that was fortunate to work on the submission of the application for the ACE grant. I'm really honored to work for Dr. Gutierrez and Seguin ISD as we lean into these initiatives that work to provide wraparound services for our families in Seguin. The ACE grant is going to create conditions that allow our families to be sure that their students are in a safe and engaging environment into the extended hours of the school day. In addition, we'll be providing meals and busing for these families. We know that this program is going to help to lift Seguin to the next level.
Hi, I'm Ms. Hill, the proud new ACE director. With this 5-year grant, we will develop and create programming that builds resilience and confidence in students through enriching academic experiences to help them grow and learn. These experiences will in turn improve academics, attendance, and behavior. We are so excited for this ACE program to grow. One heart, one Seguin.
Wow, thank you all for giving us an early glimpse of what ACE looks like. I'm impressed with what I've seen when we're only days in, and it looks like that the way that everything is running at Rodriguez, it looks like it's been in place for a year or two or longer. So I'm just really proud of how the campus has come together, and you have just some rock stars who are committed to that additional time after school to be there with students to focus on social emotional learning, physical activity, nutrition, academics, and I just have no doubt that y'all are going to see some amazing results in the coming months and years.
Thank you for sharing. That was a wonderful video. Very well done. And I'm just so full of hope after watching that. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is exactly what we have wanted to bring to Seguin for so long. So I think it's going to make a big difference.
And it already has. We have some families who have been going through some hardships, so we immediately reach out to them. We provide that support, and if the kids are getting the care and the assistance to help, that you support that they need. It's a great program.
Thank you so much. What a great way to start off the meeting. Next up, we're going to have a recognition from Dr. Gutierrez, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
the recipient of the September 2021 Apple Award, proudly served Seguin ISD and Seguin High School for 25 years. A Seguin High School member of the class of 1984, he came back to his alma mater as a welding and auto tech teacher. Prior to his career as a Matador educator, he served the community as a Seguin Police Department and TLU police officer. Tonight's honoree retired from Seguin High School this past spring. Unfortunately, he passed away on August 27th at the young age of 55. While the Seguin community mourns his loss and prays for his family, we celebrate the fact that his Seguin High School career had such a positive impact on literally thousands of Seguin ISD high school students over the years. Please join me in recognizing the family of Mr. Stephen Garcia, who are here with us this evening to receive this award on his behalf.
Thank you all for coming this evening. Steve was a big part of the Matador community for quite a while, and he will be greatly missed. And I'm happy to see the kids here. You have something to look back on with your dad. He's an amazing man. Thank you for coming. All right. Next on our agenda, we have our audience with the board. Beginning of each meeting, we designate a time for audience participation to hear persons who desire to make comments in accordance with board policy BED local. Those wishing to speak shall sign before the meeting begins, stating their concern and noting the agenda item they wish to address. The participation is limited to 5 minutes, and the board shall not deliberate on any subject that is not on the posted agenda. So we do have a few people signed up this evening. First up, we have Hugh Souvenir. Oh, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Okay, great. You'll come on up right here. Good evening.
My name is Hugh Souvenir, as stated, and I have a granddaughter that's in Barnesville Elementary School. And she came home several times saying that they were watching a program called CNN 10. And only CNN 10. And in my mind, that seems to be like an indoctrination of the kids with one party or the other. and not giving the kids an opportunity to see from the other side. He went to the school, spoke to the principal, and he said he would take care of it, and he would at least try to introduce this other side of the story. But to date, they still have not done so. And it's still going on with CNN 10. I mean, I've seen a lot of things that CNN does, seen I think the Fox does. And as a school, you should be giving the kids the opportunity to see both sides of the story so that they can make an informed decision. And the way it's being portrayed now is almost as though they're being indoctrinated into the Democratic Party and not the other party. And the kids are not actually getting both sides of the story so that they can make an informed decision as to where they want to set their political aspirations. But just to give them CNN 10 is not a good thing. Okay? You need to give them both sides of the story in order so they can make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. We also have Crystal Jordan. Good evening.
Good evening to the board. This is not fun. I want to preface this by saying, first of all, that I respect Seguin ISD, its educators, greatly. I know some of them personally, some of them are here this evening. My issue, I also want to preface that I understand that my child is in no way an innocent. I am not so naive as to think that if she wants access to certain materials, regardless of my directives and dictates, that she can gain access to those. My issue is that the access should not be so easily granted within the school library. There is a book called First Day on Earth. The synopsis of this book speaks of an alien child in high school who is on Earth trying to fit in and could possibly be going home. It sounds innocent enough. It's by Cecil Castellucci. Okay? But then you get into the second chapter, very first page in the second chapter. I've got a towel around my hips. I'm waiting until the showers are a little less crowded before I step into them. I'm not shy. I don't care about being naked with other guys. I just like to have a little space. Josh likes to shower with a lot of other guys at the same time. Maybe he likes to look at the other guy's dicks. Maybe he compares them. Whatever floats your boat, I say, life's too short to care either way. Josh and his friends emerge from the showers. They're laughing, and they move to the corner and start getting dressed, putting on deodorant, talking about girls in a way I don't like. What kind of guy are you? Josh asks. Tits or ass? I'm a tit man for sure, Holmes says. When my girl Posey jumps, I swear it's like watching a door open in heaven, Josh says. Her tits are like peaches, only not fuzzy. You touch them, Holmes says, I bow to you. Sure, I've touched them, Josh says. They kind of belong to me, right? Right, Holmes says. Posey's tits are yours for the touching. At this point, I'm like, what exactly is the message that's being portrayed to my daughter? That first of all, her autonomy is not important. That the biblical concept of the wife belonging to the husband and the husband to the wife is now applicable in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship at a stage in life when she should not even be thinking about anything sexual. Granted, I know that she can access these things. I am aware that she probably knows more than I want her to know. But school in and of itself should be a safe haven where she should not have free access to these kinds of things in the library. So I want to know what's going to be done to clean this up. Because this is just wholly unacceptable. As a Christian, as a woman of God, it was incredibly uncomfortable for me to even read that. Incredibly uncomfortable for me to even read that. I can't even imagine being 11, 12, and having access to this information like this. I talk to my kids. We have open conversation. If they have a question about something, does not matter what it is, I'm going to give them an honest answer. But I'm going to give them an answer based in biblical concept because that's how we believe. I'm going to give them an age-appropriate answer, and I'm going to give them an answer without sexually harassing them, because legally this is sexual harassment. I'm going to give them an answer without grooming them in the way a pedophile would groom a child, because that's what's happening here. I'm going to give them an answer in a way that they can understand it and apply it to their life while showing her respect and teaching her how to respect herself. She just turned 12. She looks like a grown woman, but she just turned 12. And she's up next on the agenda. So I would really like to know what's going to be done to clean up the library, because at 10, 11, 12, that's wholly unacceptable.
Thank you.
Hello. So when I first got this book, I wasn't really paying attention to the books I was getting. I was just grabbing them. So when our teacher told us that we have to read for a few minutes, when I opened the book, on the first page it was already cussing, and then it was like the second page where it got to chapter 2, and I didn't grab any other books, so I had to just keep reading, and it gets wholly inappropriate, and it just disgusted me out and kind of just traumatized me.
What's your first name?
Aaliyah.
Well, I think, right. I wanted to make sure of that. I appreciate y'all bringing this to our attention. Thank you.
One other thing. I understand that you all are moving to a paperless way of teaching at this point, and I can respect that. But we have no access to the classroom work, so there's no coursework coming home, no worksheets or anything of that nature. So when she's telling me that she can't understand something, I can't even work hand in hand with the educators to help her get an understanding, because I don't know what she's teaching. And at this point with the COVID restrictions, I can't even go sit in the classroom like I would have with my foster kids, and I've done it before. Go sit in the classroom and find out what's going on. I can't even do that for my own kid at this point. So some kind of access to what they're learning so that we can make sure that she is on par with what she's supposed to be learning. And thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you for coming. All right, next up we have our reports and information items, and the very first thing on the agenda is our no place for hate, our counselors in the city. I'm going to turn it over to you so we can recognize all of these wonderful, wonderful counselors that are in the audience.
Good evening, Madam President, Thomas Jimenez, Dr. Pettis, and board members. As you see lining up with us is a phenomenal set of counselors that we have here at Seguin ISD, and give a moment of chance. In support of our Mayor Challenge, our Seguin ISD Character Education and Bully Prevention Program, all of our candidates have had the esteemed honor to have the destination of No Place for Hate once again. This is our 6th year. As you can see, we're represented from K through 12. We are very excited to continue with this. As you follow on social media, we have newsletters coming out. You'll see all the phenomenal things that are happening at all of our campuses. So, this is our counselors. Again, our 6th year for our destination of No Place for Hate.
Those are some nice looking banners. I like the gold and black.
Thank you, counselors, for the work that you do day in and day out to ensure that every student in our buildings feels safe and secure.
All right, next up on our agenda is item 4B, which is to introduce a new professional hire, Mrs. Moreno. Want to bring someone up for us?
Madam President, Dr. Gutierrez, Board of Trustees. We would like to introduce the new 2021-22 Director of Community Outreach, Kelly Paulus. Kelly has experience engaging and connecting with the community through her recent tenure as the District Office Manager of Texas State Senator Donna Campbell. Ms. Paulus states that she would like to play a role in enabling Seguin students to benefit from unique educational experiences while connecting to Seguin ISD and the community more deeply. Please help me welcome proud Seguin High School graduate and our new Director of Community Outreach, Ms. Kelly Donegan Paulus.
Thank you for that warm welcome. My name is Kelly Donegan Paulus, and I have been a member of the Seguin ISD family for most of my life, either as a student or a parent, both of which roles I enjoyed immensely, but I'm really excited about this new opportunity to join the staff. It's a pleasure to work with Sean and the communications team. Sean and I have met with Dr. Gutierrez, and we share your vision for strengthening and building upon our existing relationships and developing new relationships. Our community benefits, obviously, from graduates who are in strong demand as an educated workforce, but are also contributing members of society through service to others. And I think we saw that demonstrated by our No Hate, that's the kind of district that we are. In order to meet our district's goals of distinction, we need our community to stand beside us. And we want citizens to have a seat at our table as well. I look forward to the many exciting possibilities and opportunities that lie ahead, and I deeply desire to serve with the level of excellence that is come to be expected by Seguin ISD. And don't forget that the Seguin Education Foundation is gratefully accepting donations for our Gold Rush, which I happen to have cards for if anyone needs one. We are also working on building our board, and we are planning our Mardi Gras event on February 22nd, so please save the date. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'll take it. And I think I'm safe in saying that when we saw your name come across our desk, so to speak, we were pretty excited to know that you were going to be in this position. So welcome, 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 officially.
Thank you very much.
You've been so involved in the schools for so long. Now she's going to get paid for it. All right, next up on our agenda is the opportunity to go into closed session. We do not have any items that need to be addressed in closed. Oh, did I skip questions? I sure did. Oh, Mark, I'm so sorry. This is big. Come on up. We have our strategic plan development process. Mr. Mark Conte. I know we've all been looking forward to this.
So good evening, President Thomas Jimenez, members of the board, and Dr. Gutierrez. We started this conversation about a month ago at our board retreat, really thinking about what's the next phase of our strategic planning as we are now in year 4 of our current strategic plan. So what I am proposing to the board of how we move forward is a plan that was shared with our consultant, and it outlines the roles of the board, it outlines the role of the superintendent, and then the strategic planning task force and what their role is going to be. If you don't mind scrolling down, Bill, please, Mr. Lewis. And the scope of the work, really what we're saying is that we would want to get this started with a visioning task force and really laying out the plans from our superintendent, working with the superintendent leadership team, our resource personnel, of course our board, to put together a document that will come before you hopefully within the next year so that we can move forward in the next 5 years together. And if you scroll down further in the document, it outlines our start date, and then you can see the tasks, the description of the task, when we plan to complete it by, and the district person responsible for leading that. So the first task is creating our steering committee. We have 58 names. The goal is to get to 60, so by tomorrow we will get to 60 and we will send those invites out. You'll see the members of the committee there, and then I'll update you all as soon as we send out that invite. The first big task or the first big meeting is our visioning sessions. There's two-day visioning sessions that are going to be led by a consultant with N2 Learning. And that'll start with October the 29th and 30th. We've got on the 30th a full-day session with a great national speaker who's going to lead us through that. And then the 3rd and 4th of December we'll come back. And then we'll go out and develop some performance objectives all aligned to our current strategic plan, right? Just pushing the work forward even more through December and January. And then, of course, turning it over to the campuses and getting feedback from all stakeholders in the month of February and March. And then at the end of that process, coming back together in April and having a final plan by May so that we can launch it in the summer and be ready to go next school year. And at the end of that document, you'll see the names of the board, right? The names of SLT, our principals, our leadership teams, and then I have a complete list that I'll send out tomorrow, inviting everybody formally to this. So they will get a Google document, a Google form, asking them to be a participant, and that'll be it. And so we'll be ready to go with our new strategic plan, hopefully by May of 2022. Questions or comments, suggestions?
So for the elementary school parents or middle school parents, you have those names already?
Correct. I'm missing 2 names. I'm waiting on 2 more people to get back to me so I can send those invites out. We use the members of the key communicators, thank you, which you all had an opportunity to select names, and that is the list that filled up about half. And then we reached out to campuses and said, would you please share with us other names of people who you would like to be part of this process?
So in October, at the end of the month, these are back-to-back weekends, correct?
There's some time between it. One is October 29th, and then
okay, I see.
December.
All right. So it says half a day, is that right, or is that full day?
From 9 to 3, we will provide breakfast and lunch.
And we did go down, we had originally presented the 3 two-day sessions, but we went down to the 2 two-day sessions because we felt that that would be an easier commitment than the 3, and we could still accomplish what we want to do. It is hard to believe that we're at this point because it seems like it was just yesterday that the strategic plan that we're currently following was adopted, but we feel very strongly about the work that has been accomplished and that's outlined in our current strategic plan, and really taking things to that next level with the new strategic plan for the 22-23 school year.
Is it possible that you'll be seeing some of the things in the strategic plan that we have right now to overflow into the next one?
Most definitely.
Okay.
So when we start the process, what we have committed to, based on different conversations with you all, SLT and administrators, is our 3 strategic priorities will remain as 3 strategic priorities. Right? So focus on instruction, make sure that we're in community, and then the last one, make sure that we recruit and retain the best. I'm summarizing those 3. That'll stay the same. The work, though, will look different as we move forward over the next 5 years.
And our facilities plan, is that included?
Yes. So what we're asking the team to do is to think about the different plans that we have in here, especially because we're projecting out 5 years, and that 10-year facilities plan that will have to be a document that we visit. And some of the members that are on the board oversight committee, there's some overlay or overlap with the same members that will be on this committee if they accept.
I just wanted to add that my last name needs to be correct.
We will correct it. So thank you for pointing that out.
So when you get your 60 members, are you going to send us a list?
Yes.
I think we'd all like to see that. Thank you.
I just have a question. How were the students selected? Was it by recommendation or?
Yep. So we use the superintendent student advisory team. There are 8 high school students on that team, and we invite all 8. So we will invite all 8.
Any other questions? so back to the agenda, we will not be going into closed session. And so next up is our consent agenda items. Well, this always includes items of a routine and or recurring nature grouped together under one action item. All such items shall be approved by one vote without separate discussion or acted upon by one vote without separate discussion unless the board member requests that an item be withdrawn for individual consideration, and the remaining items will be adopted under a single motion and vote as applicable. So this evening we have item 6A, which is approval of board minutes of the regular meeting, August 24th, 2021, and special meeting September 7th, 2021. B, approval of tax collection reports for August 2021. C, approval of proposed budget amendments and financial statements for July 2021. D, approval of donations received in August 2021. E, approval of district-wide facilities maintenance electrical parts and services, which is RFP 2104. F, approval of district-wide education services, which is RFP 2105. G, information regarding the purchase of school health and related services for Seguin ISD from MSD Consulting Group through Choice Partners Purchasing Cooperative. F, information regarding the purchase of educational software for Seguin ISD from iStation through the 2013 Purchasing Co-op. I, information regarding purchases through Board Purchasing Co-op for a total cost of $433,603. And J, acknowledgement of Public Information Act request from August 2021 through September 2021. Would anybody like to see any of these items pulled for individual consideration? Yes, sir.
The PIA, I had a couple of questions on the PIAs, the last two.
I'm sorry?
Of the Public Information Act section.
So you'd like to pull that one?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to pull item J out. Is that correct? I'm having trouble hearing.
That's correct.
Okay. So we're going to pull item J out for individual consideration. Anything else? If not, would somebody like to make a motion to approve these as presented? Mr. Jenkins?
I'm going to approve these as read except for item J, which is for action.
All right. Thank you. I have a motion from Mr. Jenkins and a second from Mr. Duncan. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. All right, going back to item J, to acknowledge Public Information Act request from August to September 2021. And Mr. Huffman is missing in action. So we'll come back to it later. Nancy, we'll just come back to it towards the end of the meeting. Okay. All right. We'll put it at the very end. All right. So next up we have our action items, and first up we have consideration and possible action, including adoption of a resolution declaring the property unnecessary for education purposes and approving a bid solicitation regarding the sale of real property and improvements located at 216 East College Street, Seguin, Texas, 78155, commonly known as the Mary B. Erskine Campus. Hi. Mr. Hilbert.
Yes, President Jimenez, Gutierrez, members of the board. As you know, we go through this process in order to make an underused or unused property available for purchase. And there's a process that's a very legal process we have to go through in order to actually sell a property. But the first thing that needs to happen is that the board needs to give us permission to do so by declaring the property no longer usable for educational purposes. So that's what we have before you as a recommendation.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is that designation revocable? So if we said this is not, something we can use for educational purposes, and then we are not able to find someone to purchase it, are we able to declare it usable again?
So there's, I've learned in talking to a lot of attorneys, it depends. The reality is that yes, the school board always has the opportunity to change its mind, and it would be by way of a new action. But that also comes along with the fact that should you list the property, which would be the next course of action here should the board give us the authority to do so. But then if the responses are unacceptable to the board, you're not obligated to accept anything. Even if one comes in that is higher than what you thought it would be, you're not under any obligation to accept any of the responses that you receive. So for whatever reason, if the board chooses not to accept it, and then subsequently decides to want to do something else with the property, you're well within your rights to do that as a school board.
Have we looked at other options for the property as far as maybe leasing it for office building space, stuff like that? So have rental income for the district, kind of like we do here with Arlen's grocery stores, things like that.
I know that, as is usually the case with these types of transactions, Mr. Lewis kind of spearheads that. I know he's got the opportunity to share some of that with you now if you'd like to. But I can say that we have fielded interest over the course of time with that and other properties.
Yeah. We've had several people look at it over the last few years with different ideas. Most of them it's going to require some renovation and some work. So leasing it as is, just for office space, nobody's really come across. We've looked at private daycares, looked at it. We've had individuals, we've had companies look at it, the training facilities and office space. So we've had a lot of different folks look at it for that reason, but nothing has taken hold. And more recently, most of the interest now that we're getting, and we've had several people look at it, call, and they hear, hey, this, and they'll come to look at it for different private investors. That kind of seems to be a more popular thing as far as people have interest in owning it and using it for business. Lots of different business ideas. But they like the original building. They like the look of the original building. They want to use that facility.
Would there be any caveat that we do not sell to a private school to compete with Seguin ISD?
So we've already made it. You have to make it available to any charter school that's available. They thought in the district you've already done that, and they said no. So we've already passed that one hurdle, and then just like Mr. Holbrook said, we have the authority to accept or deny any bid that comes forward.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. If not, I'd like to entertain a motion. Mr. Amador has made a motion to approve the attached resolution authorizing the advertisement and bid solicitation regarding the sale of real property improvements of Mary B. Erskine at 216 East College. Do I have a second? A second from Mr. Jenkins. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Hilbert. You're not off the hot seat yet. So next up, we have to request to adopt a resolution for the assignment of fund balance.
Yes, so just a quick note of clarity for this one. This is not the assignment of new fund balance. This is merely a reallocation of something that was previously assigned. We decided to break the $80,000 up into two components, and we still feel like we can meet both of the initiatives there without changing the dollar amount. So that's the reason for the adjustment here.
Can you explain with the wood fiber for existing playgrounds, what does that mean?
I can to the best of my ability. Okay. But in the old days, well, in my old days anyway, you go into a playground and there might not be anything for you to fall on. It's fall surfaces is what they call it now. At the highest level, the most expensive level, you've seen, and we even have it in some of our brand new facilities. It's called Pour in Place. It's a rubber product that it's a smooth fall surface, and you can actually roll a wheelchair on it and things of that nature. But that's extremely expensive, and you can't put that everywhere. The next best thing is some sort of product that can absorb the fall, and perhaps the easiest thing to equate it to would be wood chips, but we can't use just plain wood chips for obvious reasons, and so there are these engineered fiber chips that are similar to wood chips, but yet they're less destructive on the skin, they don't attract bugs, but they do deteriorate, they're not permanent, so there will be a recurring cost associated with this type of material, but it's as good as you can get without going to the very highly expensive things that really can't go everywhere anymore.
So it's basically manufactured mulch in a way?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Now, I'm sure that Mr. Silvius could give you all kinds of information on it. I'm not sure if he's here this evening, but he's the resident expert on the material.
I've got a good picture in my mind. The rest of you have any questions? All right, and then also the need for exterior tables and umbrellas at the high school.
Yes, and so again, it's just going along with not just the environment that we live in today, and I know Dr. Gutierrez may possibly want to speak to this, but just from my limited involvement in this, is that a lot of the children, we want them outside, we want them in the fresh air, but we also want to give them some space for health reasons as well. So having these at the high school affords that, but you need a little shade, because if you have been out in that courtyard area, it's in direct sun. And so this is as close as we can get. We don't have the opportunity to put a canopy over the whole area. The structure of the building does not lend itself to that mechanically.
And those are permanent, I assume? They're chained down? Or
well, there's a permanent feature to them. And again, if you really want to get into the details of it, I think Mr. Lewis would be more apt to speak to it. But some of them will be actually bolted down so that they cannot be moved, but it's more for the purpose of accessibility for certain ADA requirements. So they are not all permanently affixed.
I think this is probably a good effort to get the kids spread out and get them outside so they're not all crowded in to cafeteria at one time.
Yes, as best as we can. The high school has nearly 2,100 students, so you can imagine the lunchroom is quite crowded, and a lot of students, even when it is 100 degrees outside, will still want to go eat outside. And of course, we want to encourage that as well, just to allow for some social distancing, and so then there is a need for those additional tables and umbrellas for shade.
Any further questions?
On the umbrellas, has any consideration been given to heavy winds? What are we going to do about that?
Well, these are designed, and again, I really just write the check and hear some of the conversations, so I don't want to pretend to be the expert if we need. But what I can assure you, these are designed for this very purpose, and they are designed to be able to handle the wind of a given nature. I'm sure there are some very specific specs for what they can handle, and it's possible to exceed that, but it would be under an extreme situation. But they're purposely designed for this very application.
Black and golden color.
Now that, honestly, I can't answer that.
Mr. Lewis, are they black and gold?
They're similar to the ones we have out there that I do believe are not any rivals colors.
Red and black or blue and black.
All right. Would anybody like to give me a motion for approval of this? Crittenden? So, to adopt the resolution for the assignment of fund balance as presented, I have a motion from Ms. Crittenden and a second from Ms. Duncan. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. All right, Mr. Cantu, next up we have consideration and approval of the resolution of the board regarding local remote learning programs.
So this resolution will afford us the ability to move forward with providing the virtual school. And what it will do is it'll allow us to take attendance remotely for those students that are learning virtually. Without this, we would not be able to take attendance and we would not be funded for it. So the resolution is asking you all to approve that so that we can start our virtual school. We actually pushed it out to parents today. And we would like all students to be registered by the end of October, or no, sorry, October 1st. We already interviewed some teachers, so we're waiting on that, so we can launch officially at the start of the second 9 weeks for our elementary second to fifth grade is what we decided on.
And this is a relatively new development for TEA, correct?
It is, it was signed into law that we could receive funding early September.
Any questions? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Madam President, I move for approval of the resolution for the local remote learning.
All right, I have a motion from Ms. Duncan. Do I have a second? From Mr. Amador. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Well, she did give me. Linda? I couldn't see you. Yeah, y'all gotta raise your hand up high. I'm sure. Monitors and plastic things. Okay, thank you. Okay, next up we have the appointment of directors to the Seguin Education Foundation. And Dr. Gutierrez, I don't know if this is you or me, but I know we've got 2 people who have agreed to serve.
Yes, we are in need of 2 board of trustees to serve as directors on the Education Foundation, so we are looking for 2 nominations.
And so I believe that Ms. Duncan and Mr. Jenkins have both shown interest in this. Is there another trustee who would like to serve on the Seguin Education Foundation board? No? Okay. All right. Do I hear a motion to appoint these 2 people to the Seguin Education Foundation from the board?
President, I move that we appoint Linda Duncan and Charles Jenkins to the
I have a motion from Ms. Moreno and a second from Mr. Amador. Nobody else wants to raise their hand and say, I want to do it? All right. In that case, all in favor of these 2 individuals, raise your right hand. Okay. Okay, thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have to nominate a candidate for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District Board of Directors. And Mr. Amador has been serving this in this capacity for quite some time, and he is interested in continuing, unless there's someone else who would like to step onto that board. No? Anybody else? Okay. So I hear a motion to approve Mr. Amador as a candidate for the Guadalupe County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Madam President, I move that we appoint Jen Amador to the Board of Directors for the Guadalupe County
Appraisal District.
Appraisal District.
Okay. I have a motion from Ms. Moreno. Do I hear a second? From Ms. Crittenden. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. All right. Next up, we have consideration and approval for a resolution regarding World Teachers Day. So I'm excited about this, Ms. Moreno, to give them as many accolades as we can.
Yes, ma'am. We would ask that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution for recognition of October the 5th as Seguin ISD Teachers Day. We want to recognize and show appreciation for our Seguin ISD teachers who have selflessly educated our students during a worldwide pandemic while continuing to adapt and model resilience for our students each and every day.
All right. Anybody have any questions?
Is there something special planned for that day?
Well, Yes. Thank you, Bonnie.
October the 5th, do you know what day of the week that is? Friday? So maybe a Tuesday, okay, towards the beginning of the week. Okay, all right. So do I hear a motion to approve the resolution for recognition of October 5th, 2021 as Seguin ISD Teachers Day? Mr. Amador has made a motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Crittenden? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. I'll be interested to hear what you got going on. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help, because we want to help. Yeah, all right. Next up is item 7G, which is our personnel action for professional employees.
Yes, we would like you all to recognize and acknowledge the new professional hires. We have Ms. Cassandra Gonzalez, who is going to be teaching kindergarten for us at Weinert Elementary. She's a Seguin High School grad, so we're excited to have Ms. Gonzalez join Seguin ISD teachers. Also, Ms. Donna Wolf, who worked in Seguin ISD from 1993 to 2017, took a brief break from Seguin, but she's ready to come back, and we're extremely excited to have Ms. Wolf. We also have these resignations for your acknowledgement.
Are there any questions? Mr.
I
Amador?
have a question.
Yes, sir.
On those 4 resignations, they seem to be only here for a few days and then resign. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, sir. Some of these have health issues.
What?
Health issues? Yes, sir.
So we filled 2 of those, right?
Right. And we've had to make some staffing adjustments with the special ed department, and so we're able to cover those vacancies. We've also hired some paraprofessionals that have come in to assist some of those teachers.
Is that at Jefferson, basically, it looks like? Okay.
One of the things that we're starting to see, school districts are starting to see, are just numerous resignations happening throughout the year, which we're not accustomed to seeing. A lot of it is due to COVID. We received another resignation this week, was it yesterday, from a teacher who recently had COVID, her child recently had COVID, and so it is resulting in health issues that go beyond that, that what they call long COVID, and it just causes people to also reevaluate where they are, and so unfortunately we suffer as a result of those decisions and have to disrupt classrooms and that are have had weeks of having a teacher, and so it is really posing a hardship because there is not a pool out there, because the folks who have left because of COVID are not lining up to come back yet because we're still dealing with COVID.
So these 2 hires are
But all 4 of the resignations, those were new hires for district?
No, ma'am.
No, they have been there before.
Any more questions? If not, do I hear a motion to acknowledge these new hires and acknowledge the resignations listed? Mr. Amador has given me a motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Crittenden? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. And I just want to say I'm so glad Donna Wolf is coming back. Did you hire her? Okay. She's an amazing science teacher, so she does, and she knows how to connect with those middle school kids, and that's an art, as we know. All right. Okay, we're going to go back to one of our consent agenda items. Let me find it. This is item J, 6J, I believe. All right. So what we have here is a request to acknowledge the Public Information Act request for August through September 2021.
Good evening, Board President Jimenez, Dr. Gutierrez, and trustees. I'd be glad to answer any questions regarding this agenda item and exhibit.
I just had a question on the last 2 items. Could you elaborate a little bit more on The one from David Miller?
Yes, sir, David Miller. He requested the information pretty much verbatim as it's listed in the exhibit. We don't know why Mr. Miller requested it. We don't know who he's with unless he includes information if he's with an organization or an association in his written request. I include that if that information comes in. He did not include that, so we did not have any responsive documentation or anything to fulfill him, any information that we maintain as a district to fulfill his request. So we just replied to him via email and let him know that we don't have any information responsive.
I was just wondering if that was tied into action item 8C, the resolution that we just approved on the...
No, sir, completely separate. This one came in on the 30th of August, and we responded to him the same day.
And then just that last one, Carrie Childress.
The last one is pretty standard. Equitable Advisors requests this every year. The business remains the same, but the names sometimes change as they roll over employees. But my guess is that they're going to use this to contact employees to do sales pitches on insurance, that sort of thing, retirement planning. It's pretty common. Most of the requests that we receive are very similar to that request number 011 at the bottom. And we'll provide information that we're obligated to. Some information we're not, or if we don't maintain it, we don't provide it. But as long as employees have information, personal information that they have deemed releasable, we are obligated to release that.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Any further questions? If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to acknowledge the Public Information Act requests received since August 12, 2021. Do I have a motion? Ms. Denise Crittenden has given me the sign. Do I have a second? Ms. Linda Duncan. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. So last up on our agenda is to see if any of the board members have any comments or requests this evening. Oh, very quiet this evening. All right. Well, I'd like to ask Nancy if you could just send out those dates for the committee meetings for the strategic planning. Just send out the dates to everyone so we can at least put them on our calendar somewhat tentatively. One of them is a Friday and the second one is a Saturday. So hopefully trustees can attend one of the 2 days for each of those blocks. Anything else from anyone? All right. Mr. Amador? Mr. Amador would like to move to adjourn. Do I have a second? Ms. Crittenden, all in favor, raise your right hand. This meeting is adjourned at 7:38.